Okay, Kearis, we'll get it started by calling on everybody in groups of two, and we'll get it started with Mark Weiser, followed by Palmer Tomes.
Kearis, how are you?
How about yourself?
Good to see you. I want to just ask you how you are doing in terms of, obviously you were limited to some punt return duty earlier in the season. Do you feel like you're getting back in the swing of, the wide receiver reps that you anticipated? How close are you to kind of being at the level you want to be?
Yes, sir. It's been a long 4 months. I mean, especially coming back off of knee surgery, but me getting myself back into the role as a playing receivers, getting back to myself, feeling like 100% almost, and just getting better each and every day, especially with my teammates, especially with the quarterbacks, getting that chemistry back down. But being able to be back out there with my teammates I missed it so much. But getting back to myself.
Kearis, for a while, Kirby told us that you weren't at 100%. Do you feel that now? And watching from the sideline, what have been your take on the play of the wide receiver group so far?
Yeah, the guys have been making plays. I mean, you could tell by points we're trying to be scoring. We're being very explosive about the receiving room, more explosive since I've been here. But it's just the fact that what we are doing each and every day at practice is just translating over to the game. Especially like those games that I missed watching on the sideline, just seeing those guys compete. Like I say, translating over from practice to the game. It's fun watching. And I'm just excited what this team has done to this point.
Let's go to Anthony Dasher, followed by Chip Towers.
Hey, Kearis, good to see you. I know coaches are always telling you guys to shut out the noise and only pay attention to what's going inside the walls of the Bucksmere building in the football office. But I was wondering, I mean, now that you guys are ranked number one, how much more difficult is that? And maybe I don't know if there are some ways you try to block out some of the noise. Is there anything special steps that you take to try to make that happen?
I mean, pressure is a privilege. I mean, Coach Smart says it all the time, but we looking at it as though like we want to be number one at the end of the season. I mean, it's great to be number one now, great accolade, but we have to go win at each and every game here on out. I mean, that's the most important part, to be number one at the end of the season.
Kearis, great to see you. Impressive mutton chops you got going on there. That's what we used to call them anyway. It looks good.
My haircut.
I wonder if you could expound a little bit more. I just remember I didn't know about your knee injury until we show up to SEC media days, and it was always characterized as, it's not too bad. You just had to get some work done, some things cleaned up. I mean, we're pretty deep into the season now, and we're still talking about, is Kearis 100% yet? Can you tell me a little bit more about what happened with the knee, and then kind of what the recovery has been like to this point?
Yeah, it just was a deal just playing football. I mean, they kept telling me like, you need to sit down, but I wanted to keep going. I wanted to keep practicing, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to get myself better, help my team way. And the problem was kind of like a lagging injury from spring practice, and just finding out what I needed a little procedure done. So we ended up having it once I got back from spring, and just had that procedure in the summer. I mean, it did hold me down a little bit, but I mean, it's football. I mean, injuries happen, but at the end of the day, it's about how you respond. And so far, I feel like my knee has been responding well, just by slowly working me back in, getting those reps in and stuff like that. But I feel like my knee it's gonna be better than what it was before, honestly, with the little cleanup that they did do. So I'm excited.
Let's go to Seth Emerson, followed by Connor Riley.
Kearis, can you expound on why you were healthy enough, where you felt good enough to be able to play special teams, but receiver was that you weren't ready to do that early on? Was it a matter of practice reps, or was there something with the injury that made it different enough?
For one, I didn't feel too comfortable with that brace on. I wasn't 100% yet. I mean, the coaches felt confident enough that I can go back there and catch the punch. That's the main thing about punt return, is being able to secure the ball. And the coaches felt confident enough for me to be able to do that. And that's the main thing, as long as it's like securing the ball. But just being able to play receiver, I wasn't like, my routes wasn't where I want them to be at. So I didn't want to put myself out there trying to go play 100% knowing I can't do it. So it's about more so like, what can I do and what can I put on film? And I didn't want to put no bad stuff on tape. So if it had me to sit out 4 or 5 games, then so be it. The next time I do be out in the field, I could be 100%. So that's the most important thing.
Hey, Kearis, apologize for the background noise.
where is JT at, sort of obviously physically this week with him being on the pitch count, but also in the conversations you've had with him mentally? How is he sort of handling and dealing with this lat injury?
Yeah, I mean, I talk to JT every day, of course, and he's doing the same way we all deal with injuries. Like, it's a matter of time. JT, he stays in the training room more than anybody. I mean, he's doing everything right, and he, like I say, it's a matter of time and just rest and recovery, and you can't do more than those two things. So, I mean, JT, he's in good spirit. I mean, he's out there talking to the guys, keeping guys fired up, pumped up, having a conversation with them, just seeing things that we don't see as we in the game. So, I mean, he's been a great asset so far.
Let's go to Jake Rowe, followed by Tyler Griffith.
Kearis, I know that you guys spent a lot of this off season on connection, but I wanted to ask you, just from a technical standpoint at wide receiver, I know you missed some time, but was there any adjustments you guys made from last year to this year that has maybe contributed to you being more explosive or doing some bigger things at the wide receiver position?
I mean, it's all about doing simple better. I mean, if you go back and watch film from last year and the things that we weren't able to do, like for the biggest thing from the receiver standpoint with being physical on the perimeter, like keeping those explosive and being able to block and things like that. Because if you can block, it's create explosives from the running back room, and that's all that matters. I mean, if you keep doing the small things better than other teams doing, I mean, it's gonna create explosives. So just taking what we did bad on last year and making sure that we work on it this year has really helped us, especially like on the perimeter.
Can you talk for a second about your relationship with JT Daniels and how you feel he's grown as a leader since he's gotten here last year?
Yeah, JT has really grown as a leader. I mean, I have a great relationship with JT. We always joking around and things like that. He's such a Cali dude, but I mean, you can't change that about him. But I love JT, man. He always have great energy. Always like he's a pro at what he does, especially about with the film study and things like that. I mean, he sees stuff that we don't see, and he explains it to us like, why should we run this route a certain way? And that's what I like about JT, because he wants his team to be successful, and that's what it's all about.
We've got time for one more question, and we'll go to Ryan Curley.
Hey, Kearis, how much have you gone up against Tyke Smith in practice, and where do you think he kind of stands as far as getting back and getting ready to play in a game?
Yeah, Tyke is very physical. I mean, he's smart guy. You can tell how the way he plays, very quiet. He's like a sneaky, like he's very sneaky at what he does. But I love going against Tyke because he always brings great work, especially coming from that coverage he came from, throwing the ball around a lot. I feel like when we go against him, especially in 7-on-7, he gives me great looks. He gonna always give 100%. Whatever he's out there doing, he gonna always give it 110%.
All right, Kearis, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.